Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and today, I know I'm shooting out videos left and right here. Today I wanted to continue with the radio dramas, and I guess make a playlist here of all the radio dramas I'll be doing for Horde of the Dragon Queen, which you're completely welcome to use going forward if you want to. If you're adding kind of any audio environments or I don't know, any kind of audio work to your sessions for Horde of the Dragon Queen. Now these are specific to Horde of the Dragon Queen, and they'll be broken up into chapters. Some of these are, I dare say, generic. Even though I feel like they're unique and fun to do, but in a way they are kind of generic. There's some here that are that way. Others are very specific. They're very specific to my campaign or what my characters did, or a reaction to some of their actions and decisions. So some of them, maybe 50%, maybe a little bit less than that, won't work for your campaign. But if you want to use them, I mean, I know it's my voice, right, and my work, but so it might, I don't know, maybe it's weird, but you're welcome to. And if you can go to my SoundCloud, you can find them there. I believe you can download stuff off the SoundCloud. I could be completely wrong because I'm kind of new to all this, like putting out this much media in like 5 different places. So hopefully it's something you can use. But anyway, I think I wanted to really, almost for me as a DM, so I have some kind of repository to go back to and look at, and like, I remember that cutscene, that was kind of great. So maybe this is more for me, I don't know, but maybe also it can give you ideas of, if you're going to do this, maybe do some kind of radio drama work or cutscenes or just add some effects. This could be a springboard for you. So I'm going to start with the very first cutscene that I used, which foreshadowed the attack on Greenest. Now I've posted this in some of the, there's a Facebook group, I think it's D&D Tyranny of Dragons. I may have that wrong, but it's a group, everybody who is running these campaigns from Horde of the Dragon Queen to the Rise of Tiamat are, you know, kind of working together to kind of figure out the book and work out the problems and all that kind of stuff. So I've posted in there a couple links to these radio dramas, and also some of the audio files that I've used. I've kind of posted there for people to use. Some of the generic stuff, like the Greenest battle I did, 25-minute audio of just battle sounds, which I've talked about in one of my videos. Just absolute battle sounds. You'll hear the dragon come in every once in a while and destroy some buildings and fly back out. You might hear a ballista every once in a while, but mostly you're hearing destruction and battles, and it's a great atmospheric piece, if anything. But this cutscene is the one that sets up the entire battle. I played this cutscene in our prologue quest, which is something I recommend you do if you're going to run Horde of the Dragon Queen. Put up a prologue quest to kind of get your people on their way to Greenest. I think the book kind of points that out too. It says, you know, maybe they could be on a caravan or whatnot. You do whatever you want. I had a very specific quest, and maybe at some point I will actually post the radio dramas from that. I'll kind of give you some ideas of what I did to get them to Greenest, and the influences I had there. Maybe that'll help, again, you set up a prologue quest for them. But anyway, this cutscene is only like about, I think it's about 2 minutes. And so what I'm going to do, some people just like to watch on YouTube instead of going to SoundCloud. I don't know if there's like 1,000 ads too on SoundCloud that you know, hinder the listening process. So I'm going to do it here just to be safe. But I'm going to put in some images that I find on, you know, Pinterest or DeviantArt that don't necessarily fit the audio. They're just there for filler. So don't look at these as like, hey, is that how you imagine that? That looks like crap. No, that's not how I imagine it. But I need to put something in there because it's video. So here is the, I'm going to just jump into it. Here's the first cutscene for Horde of the Dragon Queen, chapter 0, really, because this was the prologue. And this just, again, sets up the attack on Greenest, right? So let's go ahead and let's fire this off. Silence presides over a small city in the dead of night, the moonlight casting its gray shadow across the sleeping populace. But tonight, the peace stands on the edge of a knife. Across the sky, blazing through the clouds, a blue dragon glides, the moon reflecting like diamonds across its armored body as lightning erupts from crackles of energy, its eyes searching for prey, eager for destruction. Below, creeping towards the city, a horde of kobolds, mercenaries, and drakes quietly amass in great numbers. A dragonborn fighter steps into view at the head of the army, his stature dwarfing his servants around him. He pauses and glances towards the heavens at a sea of black clouds. The dragon dashes through the sky, the lightning sizzling around his massive form. With a great roar, his body curls, his wings go stiff, and he bursts through the clouds like a meteor falling from the sky. He descends upon the earth, skimming the treetops, his bulk ripping the great oaks from their roots as a hurricane of wind approaches the city. With a smile of satisfaction, the Dragonborn raises his hand, his army waiting in restless malice. Without a word, the horde is unleashed, surrounding the entire town like a swarm of ants. Within moments, the city is awakened as the town alarm echoes in the night. Combat is swift and brutal as the creatures make their way through the streets, killing any who stand in their way. The town guard quickly amass in the courtyard to repel the invaders. But as they approach, a deep fear resonates within, an ancient horror that grips the soul. A cry rings out, and from the darkness and swirls of smoke, a dragon suddenly appears. Its breath igniting the soldiers where they stand, incinerating them on the spot. In desperation, the townspeople scatter, and the massive gates to the keep slowly close, as the peasants flee to safety within its stone walls. The populace and its few battalions continue fighting for their lives and their homes. With a dragon overhead and a swarm of kobolds and cultists, fear and death call from the deep, as screams echo upon the empty plains. Okay, people, that is the first radio drama. That's the first one I tackled back January, February of this year as I was prepping and getting Horde of the Dragon Queen ready. I think the very first adventure there is, or the first chapter at the very, very beginning, from the prologue to the entry into chapter 1, there's about 9 or 10 of those. Something like that. 5 of which were very specific radio dramas sent to my characters, or my players, so they could listen to it and blah, blah. I think I've already talked about that. So anyway, that was the first one. If you want to use it, it's perfectly available on the SoundCloud. I think, and I believe that you can download that. If you are in the Facebook group, the DM Tyranny of Dragons, I believe I also have already got that cutscene as a download, as a WAV file. If I don't, I will correct that and put that in, unless, I don't know, I don't think the mods are deleting those kinds of things, but hopefully it's there. I believe it is. So anyway, that's it. So that's the number 1, the first thing I used, and I'm going to continue on with this series, just putting all these radio dramas up. Again, it's for you if you want to use them, or also just to kind of see how I as a DM, and just what I do as far as creating, again, verisimilitude for my characters and the quests and the sessions I run, but also really kind of a repository for me to look back on maybe in a year to say, hey, wow, God, that was a lot of cutscenes for that. But ultimately, I think rewarding. And again, at some point when I find a little more free time, because I mean, come on, DMs, when we're prepping games, it's a time suck. And I think for me right now, doing audio dramas, which I think that one clocks in maybe about 2.5 minutes. I have to look at it again. But 2.5 minutes takes like 8 hours, so it's a time suck. And then for me, like doing those, and then I'm doing a virtual tabletop, and you have to prep all that. And then of course, just the book prep and reading and getting all the stats. I mean, it's a lot, it's a lot. So, I don't know, the work never ends, right? So anyway, at some point, I would like to go in how I do this stuff, what software I'm using, all that kind of stuff, which I know I've kind of briefly talked about. And we'll get to there. I promise we'll get to how to do this stuff at some point. But anyway, all right, guys, I will let you go. And I think probably once or twice a week, I'll just keep uploading the next radio drama in order, with probably just a little brief thing on the front that just gives you some kind of context, because, again, they're weird out of context. And this may not be working anyway, but they're kind of weird if you don't know what's going. Like, why is this cutscene playing? So hopefully I'll give you quite like a 2-minute description of like why this cutscene was here and what it did for the players, and then just roll with it and just use any old image I could find to speed up the process. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I've got today. And stay tuned, because hopefully I'll have a few more, including campaign diaries and more virtual tabletop stuff, how I'm prepping and setting up Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Okay, all right, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.